Now we start the session about telling deep tech entrepreneurship. We have, let's say, a mixed panel of speakers, and we start from, I follow the order in the agenda, so we start from Harry Robich, that is the CEO and founder of Rocky AI. So you can imagine somehow what is the usage of technology that this company is doing, but really it's really I went through the application, the app that developed is really interesting, so I leave the floor to Harry to tell us where the ideas come from and how because this is interesting for us.
Thank you. I have a little presentation prepared that I want to go through up front, because I want to share some insights and ideas of the new influence AI is doing to our environment. Perfect. So before I explain what we do at Rocky, before I explain how we create our application, I want to spend some words on the future of work in AI. And I think this is a huge influence, a huge change and shift that is happening right now. Despite of the title, gave the title opportunities, productivity, but also competitiveness. And that is something I want to highlight, which is a big change. So AI is enabling now so many new things, but it also makes it available to everyone out there. This means we have a new world of competitiveness, which is just crazy, because everyone now can do everything. And this is a big change which I want to mention about. So, first of all, what is AI? I call it as an automation of intelligence. AI is not science fiction, AI is not a robot who has emotions and knows everything. No, it's a process, an engine for automation. Like a factory machine, it's automation of intelligence, which is now new and available on scale. Increased productivity, of course, and the best thing, copy and paste results. Use ChatGPT, copy and paste results. Amazing. That makes it also fast. That allows to increase solutions or make anything possible for customers with new applications. Amazing. I will not describe too much of these benefits because you can read it in social media right now, everywhere. What is all possible with AI. And I just went yesterday and just copied like the latest articles, what's new. Copywriting. So you can write what articles, you can write your website content, just throw in your ideas, parameters. Website creation, PowerPoint creation, all empowered by AI. Design, image, everything by AI. But the first thing I want to tell you, all these logos and names that you see here are companies that already existed before ChatGPT was released last year. That means this is not companies that now pop up and within 3 months created. It is companies that already served again the market needs and now even speed up through AI, which at the end they use the engine, but will make it very difficult for all others to jump in. So just using AI alone is not the solution for making business. There must be always a product behind it. So what does this do? AI is the engine, but an application with a brand and AI becomes automation. And talking then about the risks for the future workforce. So job loss, yes. I don't think AI will kill jobs, but instead of 100 people writing blog articles, you can now let it done by 5 people doing blog articles with AI. Automation, the same as a machine. So we are in a big shift where automation, the workplace is changing a lot. So people will use AI for their job, and that is again an opportunity. We can create new applications, we can create new solutions, we can change the workplace. Data security and privacy, another thing. I will tell later. So our application, we have our own AI. We don't use ChatGPT, so we can influence what it is. And now, if all applications use ChatGPT, it all ends at one company, makes it a monopolistic company having control. So, just a thing to consider when using public AI. Now, what is the other negative changes? I think all of us, we will have a lot of stress working in the future. Because even me as an entrepreneur, I say now to my employee, why did I just get one blog article this week? Use AI and make 10. Yeah? You cost me money, I want 10 blog articles, use AI. Which means that every employee will face this critique in future. Why are you so slow? You can make 10 times the output thanks to AI. And this will influence our work environment very negatively. A lot of stressed people, a lot of conflicts, a lot of demands. But employers want to save money. So this is a huge negative change. The existing companies that use AI will even be better. But as mentioned, thanks to ChatGPT, everyone can now make AI applications. So if you look on the App Store, how many ChatGPT variants are on the App Store now? It's crazy. It's thousands. Yeah. So which means everyone can now use AI. So the opportunity is there, but it's also getting more difficult. And the niche to serve, to use AI in there is even harder to find in competing with the whole world. So these are our challenges. Now, we still have our niche. So this is our product, AI. It's a personal development app, helping people to develop themselves and basically getting a success coach that is an AI coach. Also, it's replacing human coaches, but the opportunity is that everyone can now have a coach for their personal development and career. And in our context, people can work on the positivity, on the soft skills, on meaning, many aspects. We even allow coaches to make an AI version of their coaching. The difference with our application, new AI applications, is we also started 4 years ago. There's a lot of knowledge, there's a lot of experience, there's a lot of content that created, and it's our own AI. So you still can compete compared to all the other new apps for having more. But also it means just using AI and ChatGPT to create a new product, that doesn't make a new business. So the opportunity is there, the engine is there, but altogether creating innovative solutions is needed. With that, also my presentation, but I'm happy to answer a few questions if you have. Question?
Curiosities? Thank you very much. Are you using this for some real case?
Our app is on the app stores, so everyone can download it, use it for themselves.
That's a subscription to the platform.
Exactly, it's a subscription-based product with a free version, and our business clients basically use the app to create their own AI into our platform. In our case, close to 100,000.
Francesco.
So this ChatGPT is super mega fast. Yeah. What it did in a few months is crazy. I myself, I'm a Google fan and use Google Search all my life since I'm a child. But I changed to Microsoft Edge browser because Bing is built in. Yeah, I already changed. Now, I think this thing is so big, the first one will be the winner. And it's obviously ChatGPT already has it. Also, it's powered by Microsoft, the main investor. So, in my opinion, this market will shift towards them. Well, it's already the direction the train is already moving. And the search, like Google search as we did, I think this will shift towards intelligent apps. But you will not need, ChatGPT will be built in every product in the future, everywhere. Even if you go into Photoshop, there will be ChatGPT built in, like everywhere. So, which means the information will be available always anywhere. And that is also the shift.
Any other curiosity? Yes?
So in our case, content is king. So there is content upfront. What are good communication skills? So we have curated the content, the articles, the guidelines for different personas, what is good communication. And then the AI chooses this correctly. On the other side, these generative AI, they have like the whole world knowledge. It's a bit harder to tailor them in a direction because they are generated. They are good, they are right, but they are also, you have always to think, the software products that we use are all American influenced, American culture, American philosophy, American creators. Facebook is that, Google is that, Microsoft is that, ChatGPT is that. So, of course, content makes, again, good products. People buy the content. And there are possibilities with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, the next speaker is Anastasia Kodenko, that she's a student. She's one of our students that is in the business from about 1 year, and she will talk about the future of the deep tech because she is an entrepreneur in the world of metaverse and the connected technologies. If you go back, not now, we will go back to the Gartner picture, we will see that the metaverse for Gartner is still something that will come later on. So basically, Asia started now to services and to think about the business model of her company. And she will tell us which is the future.
Thank you so much. So, my name is Sapienza and I'm founder of Studio Studio. Fortunate that I'm finishing my master's here, and today, like, in this room, there are like 3 of my professors, so it feels kind of interesting. I'm a bit nervous. But anyways, today we're going to talk about great things, and please, if you have any questions, I'm going to respond to everything. So, the topic is immersive technologies and the metaverse shaping the future of the experiences. It's not a big secret, right, that the immersive technologies are developing so fast right now. The VR, and MR technologies are changing completely our life industries. So first of all, like in healthcare, the surgeon can operate people directly in VR rooms instead of practicing it on patients. In education, and thanks to COVID-19, by the end of it, University of Sicily just presented their thesis presentation inside of the metaverse spaces. And for example, in architectures, the architects are now willing to sell ready-to-go projects before the actual buildings are ready. And so after, I would say with a lot of it that it's a hard time to enter the industry, so that's why I decided to create a Studio Studio. The problem with the market was something that the limitation of traditional media and marketing channels are like capture new audience. It's not enough to do the basic web 2 story, like generally, I don't know, developing your social medias. Right now, if you don't have a good video production, if it is not tasty, if it is not immersive, people will not buy it basically. And a lot of companies are struggling to create a bridge between Web 2 and Web 3. Also, there is an untapped potential of AR, VR, and MR technologies. And generally, right now, we're competing on the market. We're gonna discover new industries. Right now, we mostly use it for education, architecture, and of course, like fashion, because it's easy to dress avatars and give something to avatars. So probably the only necessity in metaverse for the moment is just clothing, because food is still like, I mean, you can live without food in metaverse, you don't get a background. This solution was actually creating this studio and provide the companies for dealing with digital transformation, all the possible like packaging services that includes like metaverse architecture, digital collectibles, because we don't call NFTs anymore. VR, more activation of different projects, actually while rebranding. Of course, you still need to deal with SM management because it's actually a bridge between Web 2. The main difference, I don't know if you're familiar with it, like Web 1 is something where you can only read, so the basic example is a website. Web 2 is social media, so you can read and write, and Web 3 is something that you can already own, you know. That's why we need digital collectibles, and while creating digital immersive experiences, you basically need to own it and register in the blockchain. That's basically an NFT. So all of these technologies are connected between each other and are possible, like, they need to be together, they just fit each other. As we were talking about it, like, a little bit before, the market opportunity is a great, metaverse considered to be a great investment. It's constantly growing, and a lot of companies are just generally creating separate departments that are dealing only with the Web 3. And I'm providing you some data from custom market insights, and as you might see, by the year of 2032, the increase is going to be like huge. Okay, so talking about our products and services, mainly what we're dealing with, because it's really easy to explain the technologies, the VR sounds really interesting, but how exactly you can implement it and how you can use it for modern businesses. For the moment, I can tell that we're basically dealing with like payment and entertainment sector, retail, e-commerce, education, healthcare, architecture by providing the services. And some of our ideas that already exist and we're dealing with it and we're creating for our clients. The first one is VR protocols. So those are digital garments. It's a t-shirt, hoodie, dress, whatever you can imagine with a key. QR code is a key. So by using the QR code, we go to Instagram or you go to Snapchat and the VR filter is opening and it's activating your physical garment, it's activating your physical t-shirt. You're all concerned about the problem of mass consumption, overpollution and all that stuff. So this thing is helping to create an emotional connection with the garment. So we as a company update the filter every season, but you're keeping just one t-shirt. So you're buying one t-shirt and we're changing the filter 4 times per year. Okay, it's a good quality garment and it makes you to keep this t-shirt and not to consume more, but instead consume the technology that is better for our environment. The next side of it is of course our digital fashion. So there are a lot of like digital fashion marketplaces and all of that stuff. You can just wear digital wearables and do this for video production because also mass consumption is caused basically because of overconsumption that is connected with social media usage. Because influencers cannot wear like the same t-shirts 2 times and post it on ground. So it's better basically to provide to the world more AR filters than actual clothes. The next point is we are digital fashion. As I told before, avatars need to wear something and it's the easiest way to implement your products like the metaverse ecosystem in 2019. Because the fashion industry is the industry that is developing in world. And as I told you, collectibles, if you're willing to sell the digital stuff inside of the metaverse, you should register your own blockchain and create entities and actually place the entities inside of the metaverse space. And of course, as you create something and register it on the blockchain and you already own your NFTs, you can show it to the world by doing catwalks in the fashion week, by generally implementing it into different metaverse ecosystems. And of course, you might create a metaverse space for your business, whatever it's a restaurant, it's a bar, it's any kind of business you can generally imagine. And of course, you can rent it after it's another business opportunity that we're dealing with. And if we're dealing with digital art, we can create some kind of galleries. So probably I just even before free so many ideas, we would better write it down or something because the industry is developing so fast. And talking about the business model of Sealet, it's actually a services company. We're creating products, but we don't have ready-to-go products. So like each order from the client is completely unique and different from each other. And of course, marketing efforts include like online advertising, content marketing, partnership with influencers. I was to a lot of like NFT conferences all over the world. I'm part of Metaverse Luxury Symposium here in Italy, and this is how we actually promote our business model. Why we're generally better than our competitors? Because we still don't have a lot of them. Like for a studio, we're doing just with VR, just with AR, just with MR or something, but we're having like good clients and like partners ecosystem. So we're collaborating with a lot of other different studios that are helping us to cover everything and to create these kind of packagings and provide like a full stack process for our clients. Some of the examples that are completely different projects that's already created, finished or something is a digital artist from Australia that have several different immersive experiences working. The German NFT project, the Spanish restaurant, like Michelin restaurant or something. So I just want to like briefly showcase you that the difference would be different. The difference, I mean the industry could be completely different. Sorry. So this is a bit, sad or boring part, but it's something that every companies need. So it's a roadmap and milestones, like while creating a studio, I need to go through research and development, good thing that we are like all the members of my team are more than 3 years in Web3 industry, so we've been like in entities from the very beginning. Then it was proof of concept, strategic partnership, product development, user adoption, community building that is like ongoing forever, and it's kind of an expansion. Of course, we're like becoming bigger because we already exist for 1 year. Those basically our team. Of course, we got some advisory team, and I'm really thankful for your guys because they're our business angels, and we're creating new immersive startups together. And as I told you before, we got some key partners that are helping us to do VCR and VR. Those are different studios all around the world. And yeah, we invited to be select studios for our success story. You can now see the QR code. I don't know whether you can scan it or something. If not, like I left some of our business cards to your left. And if you have any questions, I'm willing to respond. And I hope you had a great time.
Questions?
Yes.
You spoke about digital physical art and the digital virtual art realities.
Yes.
In your opinion, what's the case for this? Who's mainly interested? The creators or audience or even the panelists? Who is eager to go digital and virtual in the art space?
Okay, thank you so much for the question. First of all, I think it's very important for digital artists. This is kind of the main concept of NFT and how they started, because if somebody can just take a screenshot of your art and, you know, for them it's really important to get everything registered in blockchain and then like implement it in Web3 space and generally be able to. There's a lot of like offline NFT exhibitions, but you know, it's not the same as just broadcasting it on screens. It's really better to experience it via the system. And of course, galleries are now interested in making digital copies because it's first of all, it's cheaper. It's really safe for real masterpieces because, like, you know, anyways, broadcasting and showcase something in real life, there's really some damage to physical objects. And by providing like these technologies and just like making a digital copy, like good quality digital copy, providing it inside of the space, it benefits a lot. So like, I think it's just 2 points. It's really important for digital artists and generally for private gallery keepers or something like that.
Some other question?
I'm not such a bad girl, really. We can talk if you want.
Okay, so
Thank you so much.
So, next is Marco Wagner from the founder of the Amotea. That is a builder. No? If I well understood from what I've studied in the weekend. And you are located in the incubator of the AC Glass. And you will tell us about the vision of this company. As I said, is an ecosystem which contributes to the development of
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I feel a bit talk here because several friends and also feel home because they will speak about entrepreneurship, innovation, and universities. And as Professor said, this is exactly our spot. So basically, we are an innovation provider, a service company for innovation for sustainability, environmental sustainability, and social impact. Okay, the 2 things. But To tell you more, I will start from the name, Diatomea. It's a little bit difficult maybe to pronounce it. Diatomea. Is there anybody who knows what is Diatomea? I think the English word is diatom. But actually it's a microalgae, okay, that lives beneath the sea, underwater. It's impossible to see, it's microscopic. And this little living beings, they actually eat CO2 and they produce oxygen in large quantities. They actually are responsible for the producing of 1/3 of the oxygen. So we thought it is a very good name for an innovation company who would like to help the regeneration of the environment. But there is something more. What we found out in recent papers is that the diatoms, they live in bands, in communities under the seas. Okay? And what the researchers found is that sometimes, although a single diatom can grow, if they know that in the same bank there are other diatoms that are not able to grow, they limit their growth. Okay? So they have pro-social behavior. And so, also this, it's very much coming in our direction, because what we would like the innovation to help regenerating the environment and improving the society. So this is why we call ourselves diatoms. We say we are an independent research and innovation center for circular economy and social impact. Of course, to say we are a research center here is a bold statement, okay? But we say this with a lot of humility, but basically for two reasons. First, because every innovation that we support needs to be science-based. And secondly, because if we are in the area of circular economy, environmental regeneration, pretty much we are still on a discovery phase. Okay? It's not like the technology is already out there and we have to deploy it, but it starts from it's now, there is a lot of things to research yet. Okay, so we have different services I would like to share with you, but please interrupt in any moment. I have different things to share with you today. One thing we do is design projects. Okay, these are aimed and dedicated to corporations or to public institutions. We provide models, and routines and procedures to design for the circular economy. And with this kind of aim, we also can provide a very clear purpose to the development of products, which is circular economy, as I said, the community-based design, mindful and inclusive design. So you can see that there is the environmental and the social aspects that we manage all together. So design programs, okay, but also we build and deploy a separation program for impact study. Okay, so it's here that the entrepreneur is in the center, okay, but which entrepreneur? An innovator, and on the other hand, someone who is a changer, who is aiming to change the society. Also, we work on the later part of the innovation pipeline, which is the prototyping, again, clearly focused on regenerative technologies. So, what we think our idea is that innovation processes, okay, as they are built and run right now in the corporation and in public institutions, are basically reproducing the overall model. So they are building toxic technologies, not regenerative technologies. So what we think is that we have to redesign innovation processes, natively building them to do the regeneration. So what we are doing is designing new models and step by step implementing those in different industries. So, for example, for acceleration program, what is different? Okay, so running an acceleration program that we like to do together with Mr. Knowledge it was 3 years ago. What is different? Running an acceleration program for impact startup is not like running a standard acceleration program for industry A or B or C. You must rethink the procedure. And what you have to share is the idea of social innovation, co-ownership, and single economy. So you basically change the basic of the acceleration program. This is our idea. I'm running fast, so please stop me if I'm going too fast. We are, as that we are really, we started at the end of 21. Okay. Of course, we have a lot of years of experience in the innovation industry previously, but we left our previous vendors exactly with the idea to give this kind of approach, okay, to design and innovation. During the last year, we ran 5 co-design programs, basically involving more than 200 persons, 4 open innovation challenges. It's where the startups meets cooperation to do innovation and specific technology transfer project. Maybe it's interesting to see that one of these projects is concerning the filtering of water for agricultural use, because the water that flows into the fields, especially in this region, has too much metal. Okay? And are there any filters to limit this toxicity? Yes, there are. But the filters themselves, once they finish their job, they're toxic, they're difficult to dispose. And so, one project that we advised and we supported the research to build brand new filters for the waters. And how they do it, you believe it or not, they do it with membranes of diamonds, lead of diamonds. Okay? So, the areas that give us our name. So, I would like to show this picture that for us is the overall innovation funnel. Okay, so at the Chesbro time, with Professor Chesbro used it to be a funnel, so basically a triangle, then it turned into like the professor know very well, turned into a diamond shape. Okay, and start from the innovation brief, and the other end is the mass production. Okay, this is pretty much industry standard, but you may notice some differences. Okay? You okay may notice some differences. First of all, we talk about extended value chain. It means that you have to involve your supplier, you have to involve the territories, the community. So you have to innovate for circular economy, you have to enlarge. Then the over-innovation, all the components that come from outside are considered nutrients, okay? And then everything that will not become a new product will feed back again into the environment in terms of spin out, licensing, and all the different methodologies. So you see how in the innovation funnel we realize the circularity. Okay, I hope this is clear. If it's not, I will give you another diagram and then I will stop, I promise. So this is not by us, it's from Professor Bill Reed. And this is a trend, a trajectory that we would like an entrepreneur, an innovator in the circular economy to do. Down, we have degenerated systems, up, regenerated systems. So our support will try to bring them from down to up. And also left, energy consumption. Right, neutrality, less energy. So we try to go in the direction of course, northeast, bring the entrepreneurs to regenerate the system. To do this, everybody needs to understand the complex system, the living systems, and to develop an approach which is always integral to understand the whole system. Otherwise, you can see the design like this: user plus system plus context, but also biology plus technology plus information. Okay, so you see it's a big change. So we gave ourselves a big purpose, which I hope that you can share. But as Keynes already mentioned a lot of years ago, and this fits very much to circular economy, because circular economy is better understood by making instead of speaking about it. The new areas are not the problem. The problem is leave the old ones. That's our work. Thank you very much.
There are questions? Any curiosity? Well, I always say when I'm talking about startup, that they have to be designed, they have to be sustainable by design.
Sustainable and circular.
Circular design. So this is a big issue because everybody knows there is a lot of greenwashing, and while it's very difficult to think about a new business, taking into account all the aspects, all the life cycle. This is the reason why we often propose also to run a life cycle assessment of the business and the products of the company. So question? No? Yes?
So in terms of energy, blockchain, AI, all this stuff burns a lot of computer power. Is this a way for the future, using blockchain, for example, or would you say from economical aspects this is not the right direction?
For me, it's clear that any digital business must evaluate the impact as well as a non-digital fields. The fact that you are a digital player doesn't imply that you are neutral. You just mentioned that the blockchain, and of course there are several issues concerning how much energy you need to run blockchain. For sure, this is my opinion, even the exponential growth of AI, Web3 blockchain must factorize the sustainability of those. And therefore, we cannot think about indefinite growth, neither in the digital space. Okay, so the starting point of circular economy is we cannot think about indefinite growth when the planet is finite. When I think about this is true also for the digital economy.
I may add something, please. If I may add, this is when we are talking about digital economy, the environmental footprint of technology, of computation, of also sending an email with, I don't know, 10 words more than just saying okay, or just sending okay is something that has an impact on the environment. So on one side we have, of course, advantages in terms of fastness, or in terms of reducing the distances, the length of the processes, increasing the efficiency. But on the other side, and this is the approach of circular economy, often we do not consider the cost related to building a new venture, a new business model that is totally digital. So I really appreciate this part of your speech.
Okay. Thank you very much, and by the way, congratulations, because I read your articles and I always find very interesting, exactly in this subject. Thank you. So,
last, but absolutely not least, Roberto Ranigli, that I can say that is one of the stars of Sapienza University, because he's the founder, of course he's an estimated scientist, but he's also the founder of one of the most successful companies, not anymore a startup, of Sapienza, and he works from a long time in the field of AI, in particular in natural language processing, and now he's going to tell us. Okay. Yes, probably. How he made it, and which is now the China brothers paper state.
Thanks a lot, Jessica, for inviting me, and it's a pleasure to be here. So I'm between you and lunch, so I'm trying to be concise, but
Yeah, this is time.
we are together. But I think so. This is a very interesting story, also for me, because it was a story of entrepreneurship that was not initially in our minds. So it was born as a result of a particular path, starting from the academia, starting from research. And I tried to summarize it here, 4 steps plus 4, actually now 3 additional steps. So the first one, which is in a sense potentially totally independent of an entrepreneurship career or path, is the one I realized I wanted to do in my life, that is pursue a research career. And so I focused primarily, actually only on scientific research, and I had the privilege, already 2 years after my PhD, to receive an ERC starting grant
based on an ambitious idea and an excellent CV. And later, reapplied and obtained another one. The first grant led me to the creation of a well-known multilingual electronic dictionary and knowledge graph called ABBANET, and which is still very popular. So after 12 years now, it's used by thousands and thousands of research universities, research bodies, also companies, and so on. And recently, during COVID, we received the news that the 2 projects were selected among 15 projects through which the ERC transformed science, which is, when I heard of this, I said, out of 10,000 grants, they selected 15, and among these 15, there was actually the pair of my grants that counting as one was. And so it was really exciting to see this, and you can see it very interested. But the point is, my main goal was ambitious research. So doing something well beyond state of the art in my field, which I didn't mention, it's artificial intelligence and in particular natural language processing. So this is exactly the field where everybody now is excited about because everybody playing ChatGPT and so on. And we also work with large language models, and in particular we work with equipping language models with semantics and all the levels of linguistics that make a difference between us humans and language models as we know them today. So, in particular, my research focus, as I said, NLP, but in particular natural language understanding, so trying to get a meaning out of text, and multilinguality, which is a key direction I started to pursue already in the late 2010s, early actually 2010s. And so this is just the first step, just doing research. And I don't mean this is unimportant, it's actually my whole life, and I've been doing this for almost 20 years now. And now, the point is, at some point during the execution of the first year's grant, we realized that we needed this resource, ABBANET, and some intermediate one, some resource that would provide meaning that would be independent of the language. Like, for example, here you see more or less the same sentence translated into 4 different languages. And of course, it's an oversimplification because the sentence is grammatically having more or less the same grammatical structure across languages. But you see instead that the meanings that are associated with verb sentences, with the words in the verb sentences, are the same. And this is because our objective was to propose a language-independent representation of semantics of the meaning that are conveyed by words in different languages. And we did this by interconnecting many different dictionaries, obviously openly available, and then later with a company with Babascape we moved on to closed or partially available dictionaries, and we created ABBANET. So a merger of different resources, including Wikipedia, WordNet, which is an open dictionary, multilingual dictionaries, Wiktionary, and so on. So we created algorithms that make it possible to interconnect these dictionaries and create unified entries that bring together a definition in English dictionary with Wikipedia page in multiple languages with other entries and so on. And actually, I did update this slide that currently ABBANET covers more than 500 languages and 22 million entries. So it's a huge number of meanings, and each of these entries is actually multilingual by design. So as you can see here, potentially each of the nodes in the graph, the knowledge graph, can be viewed in multiple languages, with multiple lexicalizations, definitions, pictures, and so on. Not only that, but this is not just a dictionary, but it's also an encyclopedic resource, so it contains both identities and concepts. So then the point is, of course, as all researchers aim to do, we disseminated our work. So this is the second step. make your research known. This is one of the key goals of research. I always tell my students, half of your work, half of your job is to carry out your research, half of your job is to disseminate it, which includes writing your research paper properly. Sometimes, you have great research, but you don't know how to write it, and you cannot publish it, or you publish it in a lower level value. And so, and not only writing a paper, but also creating research prototypes, something that someone can really test and say, hello, this works. This is something I need. And this is actually what happened. So we made available PubMed online already in 2011 or so. And that attracted a lot of interest. So over 2 or 3 years, we have received already a lot of expressions of interest by research bodies, big companies, and so on. And so this is why this is a peculiar path. Because we did research that is ambitious, at the same time that we make the effort to make understandable, because of course we always have this issue that as researchers we think that only our peers can really understand our research, and this is also my case, even though we work with that natural language, so in a sense it's easier conventionally to make our research understandable. However, at the beginning, when we put paper online, nobody really cared, not many people. Why? Because the way we put it online, the way we advertised it was not for the lay person, but it was for researchers, for our colleagues, our peers. And then we realized we needed good design, good ways of showing the same meaning in different languages like we're doing here, good ways of showing pictures, of showing quality and so on. So we worked also on this aspect in order to make it understandable to as many people as possible, which is something that not so often we do as researchers. So it's also a step I consider part of this path. And then, as I said, the public attracted a lot of interest, it won prizes. Not only that, but at some point at the end of the first testing project, we received expression of interest by the European Commission and the European Parliament and the Publications Office of the EU. And they wanted to organize a workshop in Luxembourg, in the first seat of the European Parliament, the historical one in the 70s. We did that in 2016. We organized this 2-day workshop where many EU officials participated, as you can see from this photo. And it was very interesting. And it actually sparked additional interest, and people started to really look at PubMed as something that could be used for potential purposes beyond research. And that's where discussions about starting a company started. So at this point, we were just doing research. Now, it was clear that either someone else or us would use this know-how to bring this research to the market and to the society. And so we received additional coverage by the magazine, The Guardian, and so on, and then we started to receive these expressions of interest I mentioned. And so the use cases came from these expressions of interest. So we didn't have a clear idea about how to best exploit this prototype, this research prototype industrially. But actually, it all started with these expressions. And one of these I can easily describe it. We had contacts with the EU Intellectual Property Office, which registers trademarks at EU level. And they started to say, oh, we have the issue or the burden of having to check each trademark application through all the 24 EU official languages. And this requires an expert in each and every language, and sometimes the expert in some languages is not available because there are fewer language experts in some languages, blah, blah, blah. And so they said, we have PubMed. Why don't we build something on top of it that interprets the trademark, splits the trademark into its parts, and associates one of those meanings with each component of the trademark. Obviously, it was another, in a sense, adventure because it was a new thing. True, I've been doing word sentence integration for many years, so they knew that it's not only integration of the resource, it's also the ability is immediate and associated meaning. But still, it was a challenge. And so that's one of those expressions that, in a sense, pushed me towards the creation of this company. And so this is step 3. And finally, the creation of the company itself. So I was lucky to find a very dear person to start the role of CEO, because I had no idea about how to do that, and actually I didn't even want to do it. And so I wanted to stay on the technical side, and that's what I did. And so, but the cool thing is that we started small, but highly innovative, and as a result of this, we grew organically. So we didn't get €1 from external investors, which is, you know, a good thing for my perception. It's a bad thing if you think that you necessarily need hundreds of thousands of euros or millions of euros to start your company. In a sense, our story is very different from the standard startup story, because we already had a research prototype ready, funded by the taxpayers. And so, in a sense, that the money that we normally require to start a company was already invested by the taxpayer through the research activity carried out at Sapienza. That was published and potentially could have been used and exploited by other companies. Still, the know-how was at Sapienza. So this is the cool thing of starting a spin-off company, that you have very strong, very technical know-how, very few people in the world might have. And if you can bring it to the market, that's exactly what the society and our country needs. And so, not only that, but actually, for us it was easy to identify target market, especially at the beginning, because as I said, these use cases came from directly from the most interested parties. And then, of course, you start to learn that there are some tax credits and tax box options that you can use to, in a sense, monetize the research you're doing. And of course, I gave a very strong imprinting to a company that is research-oriented. So we are still very research-oriented after 7 years of existence. And actually, as you see, this is the website actually some years ago, the company now has more than 20 employees. It was sorry, I had to update this slide. It was actually now 7 years old, as I said. And there's a strong connection with my research group at Sapienza. And among the 15 PhD students that I currently have, 5 of them are with the company. So they are employees of the company. Some of these 5 are funded entirely by the company. Others, 2, are funded by individual projects. Because then the good thing of being a professor is also that if you're requested to be asked to participate in research proposals, you can do it also through the company. You can say, hello, I'm already 100% of my time busy. Why don't you involve Ballascape? And we do a lot of papers, we write a lot of papers, we do a lot of research. And actually, my colleagues are very happy to do that, because sometimes it's hard to find good industrial partners that really want to research. Normally, they want to do, implementation for their own products and so on. They don't really often want to do research. The company works with 200 linguists and energetic experts all around the world. This is the team before the lockdown, and actually it doesn't grow, as I said. And this is the growth in terms of number of employees. You see, we started with 2 employees and many collaborators, and over time we excluded collaborators, but no more. We only have employees basically. And starting from 2020, we started to have industrial PhD employees. PhD students get the salary as an employee, which is really something that is very rewarding for them and also for the company, because we continue to do research with volunteering. So it's a kind of peculiar company. It's an innovative startup company with strongly focused on research and involving also students at all levels, because it's true that they're all employees, but some of them are students at Sapienza, really part-time. Some, as I said, are PhD students, others are just engineers, but it's a very, very healthy environment, and I'm really happy that I this output that we can keep this industrial eye for the research. And the synergy with the university is key, is essential. So not only in terms of proposals, research proposals, projects, and so on, but also to transfer research, purely academic research to the industry, but also vice versa. So the industry, the company can benefit from the outputs from the work that is carried out in Sapienza. As I said, we publish our papers. We have more than 25 papers published already in top conferences. And the two more steps, I'll be very fast because I see that I'm running out of time, is to, in my case, this story worked because of my reputation and the reputation of my group. So we still attract customers as a result of advertising things, research, work, both from the Sapienza side and from the public side, because of my reputation and the group's one. So this reputation is very important because social media helps and good relationships with experts. And also this, for example, helped us attract a chief sales officer. So now we have a vice president of sales attracted from the US. So this is something that made me proud. Like someone who was, after my research, who was following me, at some point wrote me and said, hello, I've been 10 years the president of sales of Oxford University Press, and now I want to move from pure data, as those produced by OUP, to AI-powered knowledge graphs and techniques. And so now, in a sense, he's also learning after 10 years of experience there. But we are also benefiting from this will to innovate, even moving from the US to Italy, which to us might look surprising. And the other bonus step is that you can stay in the academia. I mean, one can continue their research career, build relationships with PhD students. For example, I have now 3 PhD students who got their PhD recently and started another company. And so they might stay at Sapienza and get a status as a startup company, or they might just found a new creative company. That's all. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Roberto. Any other questions? Very inspiring presentation because I like very much the fact that Roberto stressed the importance of being here in the university, and the success of the company is based on a strong scientific and technological background. And I think it's also the key point for developing the business ventures. It's a good, really good suggestion. There are questions? No? Everybody's... Yeah.
Is it the university part of your company?
So they are not shareholders. No, so Sapienza, actually, there's so they understand, yeah. So we have an agreement with Sapienza, of course, to regulate the relationship, but they don't have shareholders. So that is their decision actually, because it's quite complex with the public. But actually, it's one of the reasons why it's really good to start a startup company in the first place, because you could potentially do work of this type as a collaboration between Sapienza and companies. And this is the very next step, like being a company that is independent and not having Sapienza as a shareholder is their own will, actually, in terms of complexity for public administration to manage that kind of task.
If you think 5 years, you think it will have private shareholders like venture capital funds?
So we had several, especially in the first years, we had several proposals for enterprise shareholders, like industrial we consider them, of course, and we are still considering potential investors, venture capitalists, and so on. We have a clear path ahead. Until now, we are enjoying the fact that we are growing slowly, and we're still growing, so it's good. But I can't exclude, of course, if at some point there's a clear direction, a clear goal that requires more than the money we can save every year to invest. We can certainly consider. Currently, we are only two shareholders, so it's managed in-house, basically. But yeah, so we even recently, like when we are all discussed one of these opportunities, we are not looking for them, but if they come, I think we can discuss this. Yeah.
Any other questions? So we are perfect on time. I hope that the lunch is ready because I didn't check it. And we see in an hour for the round table. That will be very interesting. We will continue to talk about the opportunities and the ecosystem for the startup. Some of the speakers, all of the speakers of the session are already here. So enjoy the lunch and we will go to the occasion.